Oh, now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that was your introduction.
Yeah,
Okay.
Are you waiting for the drum roll?
well,
You have to stand up soon.
Do I? Somebody can throw things at you.
I'm going to be right in the middle of everything. I need to move.
This is Sarah Abels. She's a hero of hope, ambassador of hope, hero of hope. I was right the first time, and it's amazing. So.
Thanks. Oh yeah, because you were there.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Birmingham?
No, I was
No.
at ACS.
October.
Saturday. Yeah,
Yeah, for the
thing on
sun.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe it's a little different then. Maybe I'll change that for you. So anyway, let me just say thank you for inviting me. When I started on my cancer journey, we'll call it, never ever ever in my life would I ever dream or imagine of talking to people about my experience, but I really enjoy it now. My husband says it's like my free therapy, so he really supports it. My name is Sarah Abels, and I have 2 children. I have Carter, who will be 7 next week, and Margot just turned 3. And we live in North Little Rock, and I actually went to high school here in Jacksonville. And that's about myself. So my cancer journey began in October of 2008. I was 28 years old and about 7 months pregnant with our daughter. And my mom had gone back and forth to the doctor in the emergency room several times because she had a lot of pain in her back. And so finally on a ER visit, they took some scans and said that they found some spots, and of course we all knew what that was going to be. And so after about a week in the hospital, she was diagnosed with small cell lung cancer. And her oncologist at that time told us that there's not as much research done on small cell lung cancer as there is non-small cell lung cancer. So her options were basically only to do chemo. So after about 4 very short months to us, my mom lost her battle with cancer due to complications with her chemo. It really wasn't cancer, it was chemo. And 3 weeks before she passed away, we were able to welcome our little Margot into the world early so that my mom could see her. And the very last picture we have of my mom ever taken was holding Margot. So it's a very, very, very special memory to me. So at my 6-week checkup after having Margot, I had my first abnormal pap smear. And because I just had a baby, my doctor wasn't really worried about it, but he said we do need to be proactive and follow up, so just come back in 3 months. So I did that. I went back 3 months later, and that one was normal, so I just kind of thought, great, you know, that happens a lot with women. I just went on about my life. That summer, I decided to go start cleaning out my mom's closets, and I'd always known that my mom had a really bad shopping problem, but apparently when she was doing chemo and was resting a lot, she played on QVC, like watched it, and just shopped all day long. So upon all the clothes that she had tons of wigs, and I said she only did it for 4 months, so why she needed all these wigs, I'll never know, but they were really nice wigs, and I hated to just watch them sit there. So I called Carti and asked where I could donate them, and they said, take them to your local American Cancer Society office. And I said, what's that? Where's that? I had no clue. So I looked it up, drove down Little Rock, and I dropped off the bag of hair in the back of my car. And I took my mom's wigs, and I had just quit teaching elementary school and decided to stay home with our kids. So I asked about volunteering, and I asked if there was something that I could maybe do from home. And that's when they talked to me about Relay for Life, the fact that we met like after 5 o'clock, after my husband would be home from work, and it was an overnight event. And I thought it was such a great way to celebrate and honor my mom, and also to give my kids an outlet to get to know her and celebrate her life. So I signed up to be on the committee. And before that, I always kind of wondered, like, where do we come up with all this money for research? Because research costs so much money. Where does all this money come from? And so through American Cancer Society, I learned that they are the 2nd largest financial contributor for cancer research, giving over $130 million each year. So fast forward about 8 months, I go back for my annual exam, and that's when I had another abnormal pap smear. So this time, my doctor was a lot more concerned, and he had me come in for a biopsy, and I'm kind of laughing because, it's a very female-oriented trip to the doctor, and here I had my husband and my dad. And all I kept thinking was, oh, I want my mom here so much. This is the one time in my life I really, really need my mom. Because, you know, anytime they mentioned any kind of word remotely associated with that, my husband and dad giggled like they were in the 7th grade, and it was just embarrassing, and I just wanted my mom. So that was on March 26th, and about 3 days later, I remember this day very well. I was home alone with my kids. We were getting ready for school. My husband was traveling. He was about 2 hours away. He didn't take his car. He rode with a coworker. And my doctor called. And I thought, oh, it was supposed to take a week to come back. So I don't know, maybe this is really good, maybe this is bad. And he asked me to sit down. And then he said, we got your results back, and you do have cancer. And it's just like your world stops for a little while, because all I can see are my kids. And all I can remember is my mom, and how she didn't tolerate chemo well, and all I can think is that going to happen to me? And I cannot leave my children. So we visit with an oncologist, and I was told I was going to have a radical hysterectomy. Now, many people always say to me, oh, but you have 2 beautiful children, you're so lucky. And that's very true, and I'm so, so lucky. They're wonderful, amazing, healthy children, and some people don't get to even have 2 kids, but to have that option taken away from you is, it's sad. And my husband and I wanted more kids. I come from a family of 3, so 3 seems very natural to me. And we had just kind of started talking about maybe having more kids, and so this was just not the news that we wanted. So that April, I got to participate in my first Relay for Life, and at this point now I get to relay for my mom and for myself. It was a great experience. I went in for my radical hysterectomy on May 27th of 2010. And I was getting ready for surgery, and they had me all hooked up to everything, and I was waiting for my family to come back and wish me luck and give me hugs and kisses. And instead, 3 nurses come back, and they had really sad looks on their face, which is not what you want to see when you are about to go into surgery. And they asked me if I knew that I was pregnant. And of course I did not know. And I kept thinking like they had the wrong person. I was like, no, I have cancer, I'm not pregnant. And, you know, y'all got this all wrong. And so they again did another pre-op test, and sure enough. So they had to bring back my family and my husband, and I had to tell them. And it was a very scary, very confusing time. We didn't know, could we be happy, could we be sad? We just didn't know how we were supposed to feel. Of course we were happy because we wanted another baby, but we didn't know if that was going to work out. So we went back and forth to the oncologist and to do MRIs and discuss the good, discuss the bad. And each time my doctor, my oncologist would say, you know, our professional recommendation is that you get treated for your cancer immediately. So she gave us the option to do chemo while I was pregnant, but she could not predict the outcome. She didn't know if putting off surgery would be worse, or if I or baby could make it all the way through the pregnancy. So we asked her, my husband said, you know, can you find some research? Can you give us anything to go on to help make this difficult decision? So we went back to her, and she said she did. She goes, I did find some research. I found 3 cases of women about the same age as you, same stage of cancer, same far along in pregnancy, same type of cancer. This is as close to you as I can get. And she said one of them changed their mind after 17 weeks and terminated their pregnancy and got treatment. One of them had a healthy baby, and she's doing well and loving life. And the other one passed away 4 months after having her baby. And again, here's my dad and my husband in the room with me, not my mother, who I really need. And so my husband says, so you're telling me that we have a 50-50 chance. And even though I feel like in my heart that wasn't the case, that's all she could tell me, research-wise, that's all she could give us. So after weeks of lots of thinking and crying and praying and talking and going back and forth to the doctor some more, we chose to go ahead and move forward with our treatment. And so on June 22nd, 2010, I had a radical hysterectomy that completely treated my cancer, but unfortunately did end our pregnancy. So we chose to name our baby Sam, because that means God hears you. So as you can see, research is really, really, really important to me because it would have drastically changed my life and my family's life. With more research, my kids would know their Mimi other than through stories that I get to tell them and through pictures. My kids would grow up with a brother or sister, and most importantly, Sam would get to be a part of this world. So, my hope is that my kids and your kids will never, ever, ever have to come to one of these meetings. I want my children to never know what Relay is, because I want for them to never know what cancer is. I want them to never have to relay for anyone. So, it's my hope that we can get more people involved, because more people means more money raised, and more money raised means more research. So if you ever doubt that the little that you're doing or the lot that you're doing, that, oh, $100 doesn't really matter, or $30 doesn't really matter, or a $5 Luminaria bag doesn't matter, it matters. Huge. Because research is so expensive, but I just want y'all to know how it can really, really change someone's life. So thank you so much for doing what you do. Small group is okay.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.